It seems like the industry has finally reached the acceptance stage with AI music. I was recently at NAMM 2026 and I spent most of my time there at the AI and tech panels that they offered. The acknowledgement was that the music industry is going to be fundamentally changed by AI. What's interesting was there was kind of two camps pushing for how things are going to play out in the industry. The first one being musician-centric, fairly trained data, enhancing processes, and keeping talent at the center. And the second one being heavily funded generative AI replacement machines. What's interesting is all the money is going to that second camp where cut the musician out of the middle, cut out the difficulty of creating music, and let consumers, who there's much more of, let them create music because that's what they want. It also goes along with replacing the whole production and producer composer process for library music and commercial type music, which promises them potentially a better return on their investment. And the biggest issue at the center of all this big money generative AI is not fairly trained. And in order for us to have a viable, fair industry, licensing needs to be put in place, and there needs to be understanding of where source comes from so that pay can go to where it should. A few of the companies that were really vocal about maintaining a fair industry were Stability AI. They maintained that all their data is fairly trained and ethically sourced. Splice and Lander, they were all asserting that they want to create tools that support and enhance musician, because that's the data and the beautiful content that all these models were trained on. That's how it knows how to make a great song. Other topics that they talked about was the paradox of the fact that it's much easier to create music now, so it's more difficult to find good music, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. A lot of the responsibility is going to fall on DSPs like Spotify and other music streaming companies to label music and to make sure that it's easier to find the things that you want. Further along that line, something a lot of people are talking about is because it is so easy to create music now, people are going to seek out personal and more premium experiences. Live music will be as popular and more in the future because it has more scarcity. It's going to be so easy to produce a pop song, but it's still hard to sing and play guitar and put on a good show. And along with that, more connected artist experiences, something that AI couldn't replicate or something very uniquely human, is just going to become more and more essential, the story behind the art and the music. Even though it's super weird to acknowledge that AI is writing and producing music and it's hitting Billboard charts, I came away from the panels a bit encouraged, knowing that there are people who are supporting musicians and creators at the center of a lot of these companies and technologies, and they're fighting for fairly trained data and process that's going to continue to make creativity worth it rather than steal the whole of all human art and use it for profit like other companies are doing. It's something that I want to be conscious of moving forward, is supporting the companies that are supporting musicians and are creating tools to enhance rather than replace.